quite the game. 3-3 after full time, 5-4 on penalties to Liverpool. Leicester will feel that's a massive opportunity wasted. And Tottenham overcame London rivals West Ham also to progress to the next round. So let's take a look at how that semi-final draw is shaping up. And it's Chelsea, it's an Antonio Conte derby, should we call it that? It's Chelsea versus Tottenham. And Arsenal will welcome Liverpool to the Emirates.
Yeah, tasty looking draw. We've got 2 days to go, of course, until Christmas. And more importantly, 3 days to go until a bumper Boxing Day of fixtures. Look at all those games. It's a feast of football, 9 in total on Boxing Day. And we've got one to look forward to as well on Monday, the 27th of December. Newcastle desperately needing a win against Manchester United, who haven't played for a little while, of course.
No, I haven't seen them.
Due to COVID. That's on Monday. And here's how the table looks going into those games. We'll start down towards the bottom. We mentioned Newcastle, they're in the bottom 3, along with Burnley and Norwich. Watford just out of the relegation zone by 2 points at the moment on 13 points. We'll be talking about them. We'll hear from Claudio Ranieri a bit later on the programme.
Well, let's see who's sitting pretty at the top of the Premier League table as it stands. And it's Manchester City, 3 points above Liverpool. Chelsea just slightly dropped off down in third there. And after their win over West Ham, Arsenal managed to move themselves up into fourth. That is how the top 4 are looking as we head into the Christmas busy periods.
Yeah, it certainly does. Social media topic today, #PLFans on Twitter. We're talking about the EFL Cup, so we'll do a PLT poll.
Oh, I like
this. Down to the last 4, as we said. Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool and Spurs. So who's going to lift the trophy? Who's going to win? If it was Spurs to do it, we were looking at the stats earlier, weren't we? Currently 5,051 days and counting since the last dinosaurs roamed the earth.
How are you feeling, Spurs fans? Is this your chance? Let us know, #PLFans.
Yeah, who's going to win it? And we'll read the best ones out on the show. There were loads of goals last night in the EFL Cup. 2 of them came at Brentford. It was a good win for Chelsea away from home in that West London derby against Brentford. And to speak a little bit more about it is Dennis Katsanos from Spark Sport in New Zealand. Who knows what time it is there? I'm sure it's not the most amenable of times to speak to us, Dennis, but thanks so much for coming on. Was this just a case, really, of Chelsea just having a slightly stronger squad in terms of the depth of the squad, and that's what saw them through?
It's about 11 o'clock, mate, but for you guys, I would stay up as late as you want me to, especially to get the chance to have a chat with you.
We appreciate that. You can come back, Dennis.
Hey, hey, no doubt, both squads have been ravaged by COVID-19 during the week leading up to the game, with many managers calling for postponement of matches, etc. And in terms of depth of squad, Chelsea being the bigger club definitely had more depth. However, Brentford did have every opportunity to win that game. You know, Rico Henry was outstanding in the first half. He broke down the left a couple of times to set up Wisa around that 10-minute mark. His header going straight to Kepa. Then Jensen did the same off a Henry cross in the 31st, and Henry forced a great save out of Kepa just 8 minutes later. But as the game went on, Chelsea made some changes, in particular Kante's influence when he came on in the 75th minute, and of course dominating possession at 67%. Brentford just couldn't hold on, that was it, and then they cracked in the 81st and it was game over.
Dennis, thank you very much. Good to speak to you.
All right.
That was great. So Chelsea...
Merry Christmas to you both and all the best.
Thank
you very much, Dennis. Same to you. Chelsea through, Liverpool through as well, although it was pretty close, wasn't it?
Close.
At Anfield. Simon Crabtree is there for us today. So Simon, talk us through this one. It was 3-3, then it went to penalties. There was a late goal as well from Minamino. It's quite the drama. You would have missed a lot, wouldn't you?
Never leave
Anfield early. That's the lesson.
Somebody sent me a message around about half-time saying, Anfield, it's a myth. So I replied saying, you possibly regret saying that. And of course, they did, didn't they? 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 3-1 down when it came to half-time as well. They had a chance when they hit the post to have made it 4-1, and you would have thought that would have been Leicester City in the semi-finals. But the atmosphere was absolutely ridiculous, especially when Minamino scored that third equaliser deep into stoppage time. 95 minutes for Takumi Minamino. Some night for him, some night for Kevin Kelleher. You just saw on your screen there as well. It went to penalties. Liverpool did the business. I'm not sure if either manager left the stadium entirely happy for many different reasons, but it is Liverpool that will face Arsenal in the semi-finals at the start of 2022.
No, Simon, are we allowed to say it was a game of 2 halves? Because the kids did well, but...
kind of like cliches.
Yeah, I know. We love a football cliche. But, you know, kids did well, but in the end, Milner, Jota came on and they shone through.
Yeah, I think it is fair to say that, to be fair, and that is because of those changes at half-time. So Diogo Jota came on, James Milner came on, Ibrahim Konate came on. Now, Konate, I think, was always going to be a half-time substitution. The other two, perhaps a force of hand with Jurgen Klopp, but they brought a bit of calm, they brought a bit more organisation to exactly what was happening on the pitch as well for Liverpool. They did need that. There were a lot of young faces in there. Billy Comitio, the young French defender, made his full debut for Liverpool. And Jurgen Klopp also, you know, he wanted to bring new faces throughout this League Cup competition. Tyler Morton, you would argue, maybe was lucky to stay on the pitch. He put in a challenge that was a little bit naughty, but look, they got through it, didn't they? It was more experience for the young players. The senior players came in and helped them out as well. You can... all sorts of chaos going on behind me here now. I'm gonna breathe in so this big truck can get behind me as well. Yeah, Carry on.
He's delivering parcels later on, Crabbers, for
My
Christmas
presents. My Christmas presents all the way from Australia.
There's another one coming here. You got lots of Christmas presents. You're lucky this year, Simon.
I've been a very good boy. Very good boy.
In terms of those players, as we said, Klopp, you know, dipped into the youth ranks to give some chances to some of those players, and he's going to need a few of them, isn't he, over the next few days, because it's such a busy Christmas period, the injuries, COVID looming as well.
He wasn't happy in his post-match last night as well, talking about it.
Yeah, he's going to have to use those squad players.
Yes, he is. They do have depth. I mean, like when we spoke yesterday here, the talk from Mo was that it was worse last season. They pretty much lost all their defence, a lot of the midfield. They are starting to break. Tyler Morton, and I know I sort of half joked about his challenge not being the greatest, but you know, the more that here's another one. I have really been a good boy this year, haven't I? But yeah, they are, because they've got two cup competitions, of course, possibly two legs for the semi-final in the Carabao Cup. They've got the game against Shrewsbury City in the FA Cup as well. And then as far as the Premier League is concerned, Leeds United, Leicester City again at Leicester in the Premier League, this one. And then the first game of 2022, what a way to do it, Chelsea. And we do know now that I think Mo Salah has been given permission to stay for that one before going away for the African Cup of Nations. So that's a bit of a boost for them, because what a way for him to start 2022 before he goes off with Egypt. They hope go one step further in the competition this year to take on his former team and maybe just edge that little bit further away, because it's all exciting at the top of the table, isn't it?
Right, you've got 2 truckloads of Christmas presents to get home, Simon, so we'll leave it there. Drive safe. Thank you again.
Have a good one, right. So it was a good night for Tottenham Hotspur last night. Olivia Bazaglo is outside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for us this morning. Good morning, Liv. How much of Antonio Conte's personality, then, do we think is now rubbing off on this Tottenham Hotspur team?
So much, Becky. I think we all know what Antonio Conte is like, especially on the touchline. He's animated, he's throwing his arms up in the air, he's jumping into the crowd, celebrating with fans. And I think one term you could use to describe him is chaotic, and that is exactly what happened in 8 minutes in the first half in that game against West Ham yesterday. It was absolute chaos. Tottenham, it took them half an hour to break the deadlock. Steven Bergwijn scoring now after a lovely 1-2 with Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Bergwijn, by the way, Tottenham's best attacker on the pitch yesterday. He was really, really threatening. Then West Ham went straight down the other end after a couple of really good saves by Hugo Lloris. Jared Bowen, who was, of course, playing up top in Michail Antonio's absence, scored a brilliant equaliser, and then straight back down the other end, Spurs went and scored again and went 2-1 up. It was a lovely bit of work from Bergwijn again on the edge of his box, and he found Lucas Moura with a brilliant finish. So, yeah, like you say, it was chaotic. Antonio Conte is chaotic, but I think we can see as well his work rate getting in. I saw a stat this morning. Under Nuno in the Premier League, Tottenham covered the least amount of distance. With Antonio Conte, they've gone up to number 1, and I think that was evident in their draw with Liverpool on the weekend as well.
Liv, Conte doesn't really give too much away, does he, in his press conferences or his interviews, but I'm sure he's looking forward to when he saw the draw, facing his old club in Chelsea and trying to get one over on them with Spurs.
Oh, what a tie that is. Antonio Conte returning to Stamford Bridge for, of course, the first time since he won them that brilliant Premier League title. Chelsea's last Premier League title, that is. Now, I think this is going to be a really interesting... I wonder what the reception's going to be like, because I think Chelsea fans will be feeling a little bit of bitterness towards Antonio Conte. It didn't end very well, we have to remember, for Antonio Conte at Chelsea. And I think some Chelsea fans have some fond memories of the Italian and some don't have many fond memories or sort of choosing not to. And we all know Jose Mourinho was the same, you know, when he went from Chelsea, he then managed Tottenham, and the reception he got after winning them all those trophies at Stamford Bridge wasn't very good. It's really, really intriguing to see how the Chelsea fans are going to deal. Antonio Conte's going to love this. He went to Tottenham for a reason. He wants to show Chelsea that they were wrong to let him go all those years ago. And it won't just be one, because obviously the Carabao Cup semi-finals are, of course, 2 legs. So it'll be the first one at Stamford Bridge at the beginning of 2022. Then they've got one a week later. Then a couple of weeks after that, they play them in the league as well. So it's 3 games against his old club in the space of about 3 weeks for Antonio Conte, but I'm sure he is very much looking forward to them.
Great stuff, Liv. Thanks very much. Obviously, I didn't get the memo about the earrings.
I know, Olivia and I are wearing matching earrings today. Yeah, I know.
Really?
Yeah.
Good minds think alike, Becky.
It's all right. Adam, it'll be a Christmas present. I'll grab you some. I'll
wear
grab
them
you
next
some.
time. Looking forward to that.
Right. Well,
so when I first came to United States, I didn't speak any English, and my first job, I was at Walmart. And the funny thing is, they put me in the freezer department, saying that since you're Russian, you get used to the cold.
Thanks.
I mean, what the fuck?
Alex Haley sells feet pics every time Christensen bags. I can't be asked. Oh, that's not a lot of sales then, at the very least. Xavi, what are you saying?
Yo, cool and good. I expect at beginning of the season I wanted to win this cup because we haven't won in a long time, but current context, you throw this shit, man. Yeah, chilling.
What cup? What'd you say? What cup?
This cup, the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
I wanted to
be
win
surprised if you didn't know the name.
Because we haven't won, like, it used to be called the Carling Cup, whatever, Carabao Cup now. We haven't won in a minute, and I want to win that. You know what I mean? Some of the guys need that on their resume. So, but now with the current situation, I just feel like it is what it is at this point.
I'm gonna be real.
We
can get eliminated at any point.
Nah, Aspie won that because he's the more senior of the squad. I think
he's the only one that has.
Jose Mourinho when Diego Costa and John Terry scored.
Yeah, we beat Tottenham, I think, for it.
Yeah, 2-0 in the final. But again, it's a Tim Pot trophy. No one cares if you win it or not. Whatever.
Did anybody just miss Andrew masturbating his throat? Now spit.
Oh,
hey, yo.
Slim, what are you saying, bro? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Everything's good. Just took some time off work, COVID outbreak at work, so no one's trying to be around solicitors and lawyers when you got COVID around and all those conversations going on. But yeah, it's good to see this game. I would like to see a win. I want to see what we've got in the academy, see who's really going to challenge our first team players, because right now our team isn't solidified and there is space, there's room for improvement for in every position. So everyone's under threat right now. It's good to see what Tuchel can do with them. And even though we do need to hit the market, we could still go in our academy to see who can be brought out onto the pitch, you know. Just good to see our boys playing again, isn't it?
Yeah.